Welcome to Stories of Significance on the Vanguard Athletics Podcast Network. My name is Jeff Melton, and I'm joined, as always, by Mike Teague. Today, we will recap last week in VU Athletics before hopping into a conversation with men's soccer player Jared Gould.
Yeah, Jared obviously had a great conversation with you earlier, in the day, and I think that it's going to be good for the listeners to listen to. But just wanted to recap, obviously, as we always do, just what went on last week. Unfortunately, it was a kind of an up and down week, right? We had tough go at it with volleyball. Volleyball ended up going 0-2 last week. They went up to Northern California. They played Menlo and William Jessup in two tough matches up there. If any of you get a chance, go talk to JP Dorn about the trip. She's got some great stories about it as well. And then both the men's and women's soccer team, unfortunately, played Westmont, big rivals of us, and we went on the road up to Santa Barbara and lost 3-0. And those are two top 10 ranked teams, though. You never say that they're good losses, but if anything, I mean, those are really good teams.
That's always a tough trip to go up there in a day, 3 hours each way, and perform at the best of your abilities. So
crazy, and I know with the Fires too. I think there's kind of like some is it
unknown,
gonna be? What's
exactly.
going to go on, right?
So.
But great news, women's cross country. They won their home meet for the second straight year, and this year the field was incredible.
Oh wow, yeah,
it was awesome,
stacked field.
And I know that Jeff, you were obviously there as well, but setting up an awesome event. Kudos to Jeff. Jeff and his team set up an incredible event, and they do so for over 150 events, it seems like, every year. But that cross-country meet, there's a community college from El Paso, Texas, El Paso Community College, and they had some of the most phenomenal runners that I've seen. And that was an incredible meet, and our women ended up obviously taking it. And so huge meet for them. So it was kind of a good way to end the week after kind of a disappointing week for Vanguard Athletics.
Yeah.
But
we're used to getting more wins than losses when we get to conference play, especially with the success of our fall teams have had over the last 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, and that's where I know the women's soccer team, they had a streak going, right?
26 straight conference wins.
26. Man, that's a bummer.
Yeah.
So, I think that we'll get a chance to get Westmont later on. That's my thought. My hope.
All streaks come to an end,
yes.
right? It's just another reason to start a new one.
Exactly.
But we got a packed week coming up.
Yep, absolutely. So we do have women's volleyball that plays 3 games this week. So they'll play at home for all 3 of them. So they will play Tuesday against Westcliff University, and then they will also play in a couple of matches against the 2 Arizona schools. So Arizona Christian, Ottawa University, and Arizona are both coming out as well. Men's and women's soccer will be hosting San Diego Christian on Wednesday. And so there's plenty of things to do here on Vanguard's campus. We're at the midweek of the semester. I know in our Champions of Character class, our kids are starting to get a little tired. Mm-hmm. It's that time of year. And so I think it's really good right now that we're continuing to find success, and I think that our teams are starting to kind of fight through that adversity as well. So, and I know one of those students, obviously, that you were chatting with was Jared Gould, and he's in the middle of it, 5th year into this. So,
in the middle of his season right now. So we're going to jump right into that conversation we had with Jared Gould from the men's soccer team here at Vanguard. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome Jared Gould to the podcast studio. Jared, tell us a little bit about yourself, what grade you are, what sport you play, kind of the background on who you are.
Yeah, so I'm a recent graduated in May. So now I'm attending graduate school at Vanguard in the organizational psychology program. I graduated in the business administration degree, and I play men's soccer.
Okay. So you're a super senior on the men's soccer team.
Yes, I am.
Okay. What was it that brought you back for that 5th year?
So I redshirted my freshman year, and just had the chance to keep playing. And past 2 years, I've had some injury troubles that kind of kept me out. Especially last year, had a good one at the middle of the season. So, just really didn't feel like, for me personally, I was ready to give up, that last season. So talking to coach and stuff, and I just felt like I had a chance to play another year, so why not? And wanted to, have another year with the guys and just, enjoy it.
Sounds good. Not ready to hang up those cleats yet.
No,
so just give us a little bit of your journey of how you actually ended up at Vanguard.
Yeah, so both my parents attended Vanguard. My dad also worked at Vanguard for 9 years as RD for Huntington Hall, and so Vanguard was very close to me, my family, and so it was kind of always the thing or like my first choice for colleges, and but I also wanted to play soccer in college, so it was a big thing of figuring out what works best, and end up reaching out to Coach Dodge and having a tryout, and he liked the way I played. So after that, I mean, it was kind of set. I was coming to Vanguard, and just good to have somewhere kind of familiar, but also kind of out of my comfort zone, and it's been good. So.
Yeah, you transitioned. Your family's now in the Arizona area in Scottsdale, correct?
Prescott. Yeah.
Prescott. Okay.
Plays in Scottsdale, but family's in Prescott.
That's awesome. So, season, we're kind of in the middle. Just started conference play. We're 2-0 after the victory at Hope International. Where do you think you guys stand right now at this point in the season?
Yeah. So, as coach has been saying, like, we're taking each game at a time. The conference this year is. It's a tough one. Every team we feel has gotten better over the years, and it's just a really even playing field right now. And especially coming out of Oklahoma trip that we had, where we kind of got a little reality check into us with some really good teams that will be in the national tournament. And I'm just coming back and working as a team and trying to improve every game, every day. And right now, I think we're in a good place. We're all pretty mentally focused and ready for the challenge ahead in conference. And 2 games out of 2 is a good start for us.
Yeah. Do you think the collective group of the team feels any added pressure with being a 2-time reigning champion, or does it kind of reset at the beginning of every year and it's kind of not on your mind?
It's definitely like in our mind, and we want to keep going, and we want that 3-peat, but we do have a target on our back, so there is an added pressure because of that, and but it's up to us to kind of make a run for it again. And if we are going to 3-peat, it's it's going to be us, and we're going to have to be focused all the way through.
Moving back into the student life side of your experience here at Vanguard, what has it been like to be here for 4+ years? And what are some of the things that you're looking to do for the last time here during your fifth year?
Yeah, I've loved my time at Vanguard. It's just been a really good sense of community that's really built me up and made me a better man. And coming back to Vanguard, after graduating, it is like a little weird at times, like kind of not really feeling like a part of the community anymore, but it's also really comforting to come back here. Really enjoying hanging out with the soccer team again. My little brother's also at Vanguard now, so that's very cool, starting his freshman year. But yeah, it's something I just want to take time to spend with the soccer team, and just really invest in those relationships and kind of build up our large freshman class that's come in, because I'm after this year, there's, I'm going to be done. So it's going to, try to, build up those guys as much as I can before I leave. Yeah.
What being one of the leaders on the soccer team in spirituality, in confidence, as well as seniority, what's your favorite part of that role?
Just like the one-on-one talks that, I've got to have. They've just been really cool. And, just kind of living as, I don't know, it's kind of weird talking about it, but living as an example for, hopefully someone to follow. Like I don't know. I just love the little talks I've gotten to have with some of the guys, the team devotions and stuff I really look forward to doing. I love doing our little pep talks, in games and stuff. But yeah, I mean, the guys are fun to be around too, so it's a really easy challenge. And but yeah, it's a good one.
Was that a role that you were looking forward to stepping into, or was it kind of stepping outside your comfort zone when you were asked to go into a role like that?
It was definitely kind of out of my comfort zone because, I'm not too outspoken as an individual. I'm very, kind of quiet and reserved and only talk when I really feel like I want to talk. Mm-hmm. But there has, and me and Coach have talked, just trying to, this is kind of an expectation for me, somewhere I can grow, and just try to be more outspoken, try to be more of a leader with my words, and
Yeah, you've always been a leader by example, but now you actually have to do the vocal side of it too, which can be a transition, especially as guys are accustomed to the other way of going about it.
Mm-hmm.
What have you learned over your 4 years here that you wish you could go back in time and tell 18-year-old Jared?
Well, being a recent graduate, I would say really invest in the relationships on campus and teachers as well as individuals, because just invest in them, because afterwards it's those relationships that are going to stick with you. Really get a sense of community at Vanguard, but after you graduate, it's time to kind of move on, and you need those relationships that you built on campus to carry over, because grad school can be grad school can be hard, but post-grad life can be really hard if you don't have someone to stick with you or a sense of community. So I'd say really build it while at Vanguard in the hopes that it stays after Vanguard. I'd really hope that I would learn that earlier on, but it's been good. Yeah.
What have been your personal goals for this soccer season?
Yeah. So for me personally is just try to be best leader that I can be, as well as trying to, give it my all, because it is my last season. Like there is no, like last year I had that same mentality, but there's always the sense of, I can come back next year. But now it's like, no, this is it. So really try to invest in this and try to do the best I can. Because I'm gonna miss it afterwards. So really gonna just try to give it my all.
What about off the pitch?
Mm-hmm.
What are your goals for yourself for this school year?
It's really grad school is something else. It's a lot of time management, a lot of work, and I really like what I'm learning and stuff, but it's also a challenge. So just really try to stay determined and try to keep focused on what my end goal is, and gain the degree, and really just trusting God through it all, because it is a lot of work. So
for our listeners at home that might not be familiar with the program you're in, can you give us like a 1-minute breakdown of what you are learning?
So organizational psychology is pretty much applying the scientific methods of psychology into the workplace, and the goal is to try to get people happy in their job and successful in their job, because research has shown that people are happy in their jobs, they're happier in life. And so that's kind of the goal. And like a lot of consulting firms come with the organizational psychology background, as well as like HR directors. So it's like a really cool program, because it's all geared around making people happy and making a difference in people's lives. So
what's been your favorite nugget that you've taken away so far through your time in the program?
So I just finished my first class, because they're 7-week intensive courses, and we did our research paper and presentation on the self-determination theory, which pretty much is like a study on intrinsic versus extrinsic motivation, and how if you're motivated from within to do something by your own choice, it leads to better outcomes at work as well as at home and stuff. So just it's kind of a cool little nugget.
That's awesome. What would you say God is teaching you through this season of your life? Not necessarily the soccer season, but this being graduate of your undergrad degree, kind of in this transition between being a college kid and being a full adult.
It's definitely been kind of two different parts of this season. So moving back here in July for soccer, I went home in Arizona for a few months just to save money and kind of get everything figured out, and then moved back in July. And I knew I was playing soccer. I knew I was going to graduate school, but that was pretty much like all I knew. I didn't have a permanent place to live, didn't have a job, so I didn't know how financially things were going to work out. And just kind of hopped around like family friends' houses and church friends' houses for a good 2 months until I was able to find an apartment with some really quality guys from Vanguard that One I've been living with for 3 years, and then 2 other guys who I'm pretty close with. So in that season, it was like very much trusting God in the uncertainty of it all. And now like I got a job as well, so I'm working 5 days a week while doing soccer, while doing graduate school. So now it's like trusting God in the busyness of the season, because it is probably one of the busiest times of my life I've been in. But also like it's also really rewarding, and I know it's for a better purpose later on. So really just trusting Him in the journey of the season, and where He's going to take me, because His way is perfect, and just really resting on that and resting on His promise in that. So
it's always interesting when you intellectually know God is working through you, but transitioning sometimes that down to the heart and being able to have the confidence in that on a day in, day out basis. So as we kind of parlay all this towards your future, you're done with your 5-year soccer career, you're graduated with your master's in organizational psychology. What do you see for your future? What's the dream? What's the goal? How do you want to impact people, once this chapter of your life is complete?
I've thought about that a lot, and it's kind of the common question you get after graduating. Oh, what are you going to do next? So, and really, like, to be honest, I don't really know exactly to the finer details of what my future is going to hold. Like in terms of like jobs and stuff, there's so many different jobs out there that it's hard to pinpoint one that I really, really want. So really just, I want to work for, an organization that I like, whose values and passions match mine, that, make a difference for people, as well as, being a successful and quality, company. And, whatever role that may be, like, that's kind of one of the minor details that, isn't as big of a focus for me right now. But just somewhere I can feel happy working, as well as, that my purpose and that we're making a difference. But I don't know really.
That's great. Hey, we've all been there before. I was in that season of life, and there's just so many opportunities. You almost have paralysis of options. So as we kind of transition back to our final question, you're in the last year of your life. What is, aside from soccer, last year of your life here at Vanguard, not in general, aside from soccer, what is one thing that you're looking to do for the final time, whether it's a campus event, whether it's something within the athletic department? What's that last one thing where you're really looking forward to, away from soccer specific?
Away from soccer. Okay. I'm not sure what the events at freshman year level are doing right now, but I'd really love to see my brother go up on stage and make a fool of himself for one time, just one event that, but I don't know, soccer is kind of my main focus within Vanguard right now. I love it, and I don't know. We'll see.
That's awesome. Well, we'd like to thank Jared for stopping in. He just got out of the weight room and about to head out to the pitch to gear up for this weekend's game. So we definitely want to thank Jared for being our second guest here on Stories of Significance. And we look forward to watching you throughout your final season here at Vanguard. So thank you, Jared.
Yeah, thank you.
Welcome back to Stories of Significance on the Vanguard Athletics Podcast Network. You guys just heard a great conversation we had with Jared. Mike, why don't you go ahead and just give us, what was your favorite part of Jared and him stopping by earlier this week?
Yeah, Jared is one of those kids who, he came on campus and he was just young freshman, obviously legacy kid. He was a walk-on for the soccer team, redshirt. And we've seen this kid work harder than almost any athlete that I've seen in the past few years. Kid's out on the field all the time. Not only is he a great player, but high character individual. And I think that you saw that in the conversation, that his whole goal this year, even though he's not as engaged with the school, his whole goal is to lead well and to lead his young teammates well. They still have a young team, a lot of freshmen and sophomores on that team, as talented as they are. And I think he's embraced that role of leadership. And it's been really fun to see him kind of lean into that and take an opportunity to really take advantage of this final season of competition And I know that he's had some injuries in the past, and this year I think he's done a great job of just trying to stay healthy and get back out there, and he's captaining this team. And I really enjoyed hearing his journey from point A as a redshirt freshman to now super senior, and just continuing to make that impact that he was able to make.
One of the common things I actually picked up between both of them, between our first conversation with Maddie and then both with Jared, is they're in these roles of leadership that they kind of reluctantly stepped into, but they're kind of embracing the journey with it and being comfortable with being uncomfortable, and taking that and using it to push them forward, both in their Vanguard journey and their journey in life.
Right. No, exactly. And I think that goes right along with that theme that we have this year of water walkers, right? And stepping out of the boat and really taking that leadership initiative. And I think you've seen obviously that with Jared and then Maddie as well. And I think that you're going to see that theme throughout the years. You have to take a step out of the boat, right, in order to grow, and you have to be uncomfortable in order to grow as well.
Well, I think what is it, the John Ortberg book that says if you want to walk on water, you got to get out of the boat. So that's what we're trying to push here at Vanguard University. We thank you for tuning into our second episode of Stories of Significance. Be sure to share it, tell all your friends as we build out our viewer network here, and we look forward to seeing you guys next week on Stories of Significance on the Vanguard Podcast Network.